Hey everybody, it's your boy Leon Reverse. I'm over here getting free seeds. What are you saying, free seeds? Well, I'm at the grocery store. And one of my favorite garden hacks is you buy what you want to grow. So I just picked up these lychees and butans. So put them in there. I also found these look like Scotch bonnets, but these are sweet peppers. All right, you guys, so we're back from the grocery store, and this is what I ended up coming home with. Got two of these, my favorite type of lychee. Got one big old leek to add to some of the ones that I had pulled. The green onions and the one or two leeks that's in there. We've got these sweet little peppers. Here in Florida, all year round, you could grow smaller peppers. Bigger bell peppers, they only grow in the fall and the winter. And although I'm doing my fall planting, I do have some bell peppers going already, but I want to get these going because these go for a few years, 3-4 years, and they produce sweet peppers that taste similar to bell peppers, but they look like Scotch bonnets. They're pretty deceiving. So I also got some Scotch bonnet peppers. I've got some tomatillo. I've got a chayote, a jicama, and some calabasa, some squash. It's really like a squash pumpkin type thing, very similar to like the Cherokee pumpkin, which is why I'm going to be growing this. So there you go. I've got all of these things right here are going to be used in the dinner. I'm going to cook down some garbanzo beans with all of these things in it, and I'm just going to have 3 seeds from this right here, 3 seeds from here, 3 seeds from here, and I'll show you what I do with this, and I'll show you exactly how to get the seeds out of the tomatillos and the peppers. Now, real quick, these things. So these, I consider free seeds because I'm going to eat the fruit. And then the seeds, boom, ready to go after I eat the fruit. However, these, when it comes to planting, both of these are better off planting whole. So you're going to sacrifice eating this, you're going to sacrifice eating this for the sake of planting it. However, with everything else, and now I have heard of people planting this in segments. People could just cut the top and the bottom and eat the middle, and then you have 2 little things to plant. I also heard that it doesn't work as well. Same with this. I've heard of people eating the meat around the seed and then planting the seed. And again, I heard it does not work quite as well. It's a lot harder to keep it going when you do that. So these are being sacrificed. Even though I do love both of them, which is why I'm going to grow them both. And when you grow the bulb, I also heard that it takes like 2 seasons to get a bulb. The first season you just get a plant. Either how. I enjoy growing both of those. They both grow a vine. That should look pretty nice. Okay, so first thing I did was cut them in half. I'll show you real quick. This one. And you're going to want to take the seeds off carefully. I like to do it without touching it as much as possible. And for those who do not have the trust in their knife skills to be able to just not touch any of the hot parts. Basically, the outside of the pepper isn't going to affect your skin. It's the inside of the pepper, especially this white part that's holding the seeds. That is the hottest part of the pepper. It has the most capsicum along with the seeds themselves. So these are the seeds. Compared to bell pepper seeds, they look like they would not grow, because the bell pepper seeds that look like this are the little shrunken up ones that aren't going to perform anything. But when it comes to habaneros, seeds often look wrinkled up, sometimes a little black or brown, and oftentimes they'll still grow. So you just take these out. If you get a little bit of the pith, a little bit of the white part, it's fine. So what I was going to say is you should wear gloves. If you don't think you could take all the seeds out without touching any of it, wear gloves. Even for some of you who are extremely sensitive to capsicum, you might be growing the pepper just to make a bug spray with it. You should also be wearing gloves. I've done the same thing with bell peppers. In fact, I did the same thing about a week ago with 3 different color bell peppers, red, yellow, and orange. And I put them in 3 garden beds around the banana plants, and kept them separate. So hopefully it'll be like 1 orange bell pepper, 1 red bell pepper, 1 yellow, group bushes. All right, so we have the seeds out. What we're gonna do next is just put them on a paper towel, a piece of paper towel. Peter picked a bunch of pepper seeds and put them on a piece of paper towel. Okay, so it's basically the same thing when it comes to tomatillo. Hopefully most of you are familiar with tomatillos. A lot of Mexican restaurants will roast them and make a green salsa, similar to pico de gallo, but they usually call it salsa verde because they use green jalapenos and tomatillos. So the tomatillo is similar to a tomato. However, the seeds are much, much smaller, and they don't grow in the exact same pattern as a tomato. It's a little different. See, that's the seeds there. I'm gonna have a separate paper towel here. There you go. Have plenty of seeds to get a few plants going. I still have all this that I could roast and add to my beans. Finally, we have the, let's see, they call them chachucha pepper, but it looks just like the ají peppers. They say that they're sweet peppers, even though they look very similar to the Scotch bonnets that I just cut. The seeds look a lot more like a bell pepper. Been using the same knife for everything, so I don't know if this is going to be a true test. It tastes like a sweet pepper with the resin of hot peppers all over it. Residue, I should say, maybe, yeah, the oils. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just curling up a bit so you might not be able to see it. I'm just scraping this off. There you go. You see, this is what I got from just 1 pepper, and I have this much for not even $3. If you were to buy a seed packet, you'd probably get about twice this much for $3, which I'm assuming is about 2 of these peppers. And if that's all I purchased, which is kind of what I did with the Scotch bonnets, I'm sure I'd just be paying a few pennies. So that's why I call these free seeds, because I still have the pepper that I purchased that I'm still going to eat. This part, most of the time, would be thrown away. But this is how I'm getting my fall seeds, or at least some of them. So there you go, 3 seeds extracted from the food that I just bought. Okay, another one that I did last year that came out real good were these multicolored grape tomatoes. The ones that did the best were the orange. I think I'll grow them separately. Okay. Okay, so you just get them out onto the napkin. You just let them dry. I'm gonna keep them separated, so this is gonna be my yellow. And since napkins you could write on, I'm gonna go ahead and write on that. Here's the orange. Now, this works with any tomato, but here in Florida we could grow small tomatoes for half the year, and then June, July, and August, which is the only months that it's too hot. The larger tomatoes, however, we can only grow in the colder months, so October, November, December, sometimes January. Usually by January it gets a little too cold, but that's our season for the big tomatoes. Okay. Go ahead and do a third. These are Florida cherries, those are my grapes. Okay, there you go. I like to push out the juice as much as possible so that we see more seeds. It's going to be simple. I'm just sticking this much in the dirt. I'll go ahead and do the same thing with the green onions that I have from the yard. Okay, so if you're using homegrown green onions, a little trick is trimming up the roots. So you want the roots to be a little shorter. There you go. So just really like this. All right. Now these are ready to plant. Okay, so last but not least, we have the Calabasa. Now, squash of any kind, or even melons, are very easy to get the seeds from. Found another tomatillo seed that I'm going to waste it. So they're really easy to get the seeds from. You can either push them out with your hands, or you can get a spoon. Most people scoop out the guts with a spoon anyway, and then they're attached. The seeds will be attached to the guts, and then you can separate them afterwards. I like to push the seeds out and then scoop out the guts separately. But really, nutritionally speaking, this whole entire thing should be cooked and eaten whole. Seeds, skin, the guts, it all has different nutrients in it that adds to the value of this when it comes to being eaten. Like many people know, seeds are always rich in proteins. That's why beans are so rich in proteins. It's a type of seed. Any seeds, roasted pumpkin seeds, people do that. So squash is obviously in the same family as pumpkin, and this is like a pumpkin squash. And it's delicious. It tastes like a mix between butternut squash and pumpkin. So, try to grow some of these. There goes the seeds. Next thing you want to do, let's put them in a strainer. I think you see where I'm going with this. It's a lot cleaner, doesn't have as much of the fruit, still clinging to it. Now seeds like this aren't going to do anything. If you see that they're totally flat, those seeds aren't good. The seeds you're looking for is going to be rounder, not flat like this. You can tell that they're actually full of what the plant's going to need to get started. you can tell it actually has an embryo. Some of these really flat ones, basically just the shell of a seed. Nothing on the inside. Okay. So you do the same thing. Paper towel, let it dry. Once they're all dry, and they're ready to go. You can plant squash seeds without drying them, but you'll get a better germination rate. Same with the peppers. You could plant them without drying them, but you will get a better germination rate if you let them dry. And of course, there's no such thing as over drying them, because after every seed is a little different. So anywhere between 2 months to 5 years, they lose their viability. They're less likely to grow. There you go. Another little garden hack is try to find businesses that are no longer going to be carrying a garden section, or maybe they're no longer going to be carrying seeds, and a lot of times they'll clearance them out. And in the case of a dollar store, you're usually talking about buying seeds for pennies, which is exactly what I did here. So we have all these flowers, great pollinators. We even had some squash, some beans, one lonely thing of tomato. So we had all that clearanced out. So be on the lookout for that, because that always helps.